Call of Duty 2 was one of the Xbox 360's best games when the system launched last November. Even with the new developer at the helm, Call of Duty 3 plays every bit as good as its predecessor, and it has improved multiplayer and visuals too. Call of Duty 3 puts you in the role of several different soldiers for America, Britain, Canada, and Poland. The stories aren't particularly engaging, but they do give you the sense that you're participating in a great world war. The controls are identical to Call of Duty 2, both in how they're laid out and in how they feel. You'll still need to raise your gun to eye level to use the weapon's sight, but now there's a neat blurring effect that simulates your eyes focusing. There are new close quarters fights that look pretty cool, but the mechanics are boring, and there are less than 10 of these situations in the entire game, so they're rather worthless. In the game's first mission, you'll find yourself in the midst of one of the most impressive firefights in any first-person shooter to date. There's carnage everywhere. Bullets and grenades whiz through the air while bombs explode all around, leaving soldiers to scramble around dead bodies for whatever cover they can find, be it a bombed-out mausoleum or a gravestone. Most of the rest of the game's 14 missions aren't quite as intense, but there's rarely a dull moment to be found. Call of Duty 3 isn't a run-and-gun first-person shooter, but it's not as slow-paced as a tactical shooter either. You'll generally need to stay behind cover, pick off as many soldiers as you can, and then advance to the next safe location. Since you spend so much time behind cover, it would have been nice to have the ability to lean, but you can do pretty well without it. There are a few missions that place you in the driver's seat of a Jeep, and a couple where you'll man the controls of a tank. The driving missions aren't particularly exciting, but the controls are forgiving enough to make them sort of fun. The tanks are unwieldy at first, but once you get the hang of them, it's a blast driving around and blowing stuff up. Call of Duty 3 isn't a terribly difficult game on the default setting, nor is it particularly lengthy, clocking in at about 8 to 10 hours from start to finish. The higher difficulties are much more challenging. The enemies are more aggressive, they're better shots, and your health disappears much quicker. While you were limited to just 8 players on Xbox Live last year, 24 players can now join in the fun. There are 9 different multiplayer maps to play on, and 6 different match types are available for play. Jeeps, tanks, and motorcycles are found throughout the levels, adding even more depth to an already deep multiplayer experience. Achievement points are awarded for beating the game, beating it on veteran difficulty, as well as getting through a level without dying, without shooting, or getting hit by less than 30 bullets. Additional achievements can be earned online for reviving players, delivering ammo, and by achieving certain ranks. There are a handful of bugs in the single-player campaign. In one instance, our soldier got stuck in a hole in the floor, and later in the game we were supposed to meet up with our squad, but were unable to do so because some of them had gotten stuck getting out of a boat, and the event wouldn't trigger. Call of Duty 3's visuals are nothing short of amazing. The outdoor environments are particularly impressive, but you don't have much time to admire falling rain, planes flying overhead, or a puddle that is collected in a hole left by a grenade when you're trying to escape death. Once again, the game's effects are outstanding. Throwing a smoke grenade results in a thick cloud of smoke so dense and so realistic, you'll sometimes find yourself squinting in an effort to see better. Explosions from grenades, rockets, and bombs are similarly impressive. The textures are more detailed than ever as well. The frame rate isn't locked at 60 frames per second all the time, but outside of some occasional slowdown, it's fast and smooth. Call of Duty 3 sounds phenomenal. You'll hear bullets coming from all directions, and explosions will rattle your and your neighbor's walls. The chatter from both your fellow soldiers and your enemies not only adds to the atmosphere, but also provides helpful clues as to what you need to do next. Joel Goldsmith has written a gorgeous orchestral soundtrack that elevates the presentation to another level. From start to finish, Call of Duty 3 is an intense experience and a great game. The visuals are fantastic, and the sound is some of the best in any game to date. It doesn't play much different than the last game though, so if you're not a fan of first-person shooters, this game won't change your mind, but for those that are, Call of Duty 3 is a must-own.